Bitcoin is dumped by the U.S. government. Once again, it absolutely means nothing. Tesla confuses everyone with headlines about if they hold Bitcoin, will they accept Bitcoin, do they not accept Bitcoin, and Sam Bankman-Fried's nefarious plans for the apocalypse of humanity, as we know it, is revealed. All this and more on the blockchain.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there, but if we do, that's kind of where we
Welcome. Everything about this show being late, about the microphone not working,
wrong.
Is all Owen's fault.
It's all wrong.
It's all Owen's fault. I'll just let you know. Slowen, as he's known as. We're joined by DZ. It's been a while since we had DZ on the show. I'm excited to have him. He's always
been doing the morning streams. Been a little bit busy, but I'm back. I'm here.
You always keep me level-headed. You know what I mean?
I always play the contrarian, no matter the.
That's what I say. That's what I love.
No, you don't. You don't always do that.
Sometimes he agrees with me. It's nice for me, but it's also uncomfortable if he agrees with me. I'm used to getting a little pushback, and it's healthy.
I will say this more often than not: if I'm agreeing, if I'm not trying to be Mr. Contrarian, if I'm agreeing, it's because my mind was flipped right then and there, and I'm like, "Wow, soaking it in."
You blew my mind with that nuclear blast video.
Yes. So we were looking, and potentially this is off from Mark Andreessen. You know, this is a very smart billionaire. Everybody, he said, "Hey, if you look at the 1950s atomic test videos." Some of it may look like miniatures. Some of it may not look like natural smoke. Some of it may look a little odd and interesting. And you might ask questions like, what happened to the camera there?
Yeah.
So.
Why? How did a camera, blast through a, blast like that? And then the car.
Logic is a dangerous disease.
The car shows up mid-frame in the particular video when the quote unquote blast of the nuclear bomb was up against this, I believe, a 2-story house.
Yeah.
Very interesting. To be honest, that, speaking of changing my mind, I was like, yeah, that's totally real. I've seen that video 1,000 times. I never noticed that a car literally appears out of nowhere. And guys, I'm not saying we didn't have nuclear bombs at the time, but we were talking about the strategy behind it. We're getting kind of just in a small rabbit hole here. A very small rabbit hole. Well, of course you want everybody to think you have a bunch more nuclear bombs in 1944 than you do. Of course you do. Who wouldn't do that? And I would say no offense, but I feel like a lot of people, including myself, like I would probably do that too.
But
like, why make a whole test when you can make a miniature?
Let's see here.
Like if you got 5 of them, you don't want to. And to be honest, guys, the nukes that we had back then were so bad. I think only 10 to 15%, or maybe even 5% of the actual fission material went off in the Hiroshima bomb. So it's like they're not great bombs, especially back then. And so why would you waste ton of money and you know, but who knows? Let's see the video.
Well, yeah, I got the video here. Let's play it just to see, just to show everyone.
Look at the car. Look at the car behind the house.
Oh wait, no. Wait, so the car was there in that video.
That's interesting.
What the hell? The other video, the car wasn't.
This is from Atomic
Looks like
Archive.
that was the exact replica. So maybe they're building exact replicas of these homes, and then that was, you know.
Another
Well,
thing about it
in
is
the other video, it seemed like the car wasn't there in the background,
smoke-
but I guess you can see it now.
the smoke.
no, but maybe this is just-
scale.
Wait, hold on. Go back.
Oh no,
Okay.
but dude, that's right before the.
We go to the very beginning.
Yeah, it doesn't include.
So look at the shadow on the house and the car, but look on the
Yeah.
shadow to the left of the house.
This guy right here.
That is pointing perpendicular.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
I don't know. There's many questions here.
Well,
The smoke scale is an interesting thing that was brought up about, you know, how it kind of looks like they're tiny little twigs, not 2x4s, full size 2x4s in comparison to the smoke size. So he just, you know, DZ gets me thinking about stuff. I like it. If you're not questioning yourself and your own, you know, kind of framework of how you look at the world, then you're stuck in a kind of echo chamber, and that's kind of a dangerous place to be. Don't like to be in those places. They can be a dangerous kind of a pathway to, you know, kind of misinterpreting the entire world around you. And you know, one story. Oh, but first, before I get into all this, thank you for hanging out with us. I know we started a little bit late. John Jones, Ryan Anderson, Crypto Dix, Manawak, we're using your coaster right now. It's not an NFT. I saw that online. You chaotic creatures, you.
I will say Crimson Caravan does have a good point.
What's
It
that?
says, "Oh my gosh, 2 lights versus create 2 shadows." Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, they're when you see a stadium, there's 4 shadows. When you look at baseball
Yeah,
players,
but what's
you know,
the other light?
the flash of the bomb. Oh, that's a good point. I guess would they have illuminated?
Mm.
Yeah, what would be the other light? I appreciate the
camera
feedback.
make it through
well,
all
but
that?
I want to just
Also
really quick.
depends on the
This
intensity of the
video,
light
and again,
source.
I'm not saying this isn't real, but it makes me question things because that video doesn't show the one you showed me had 2 or 3 seconds before that.
Yeah,
Which-
there's
which
more
had-
videos than that one house. We're not saying, you know, we're saying, yeah, maybe 10 were real, 10 were fake. Maybe
Yeah.
1 was real, 9 were fake.
Well,
Maybe only 1 was fake. I don't know.
In one of the videos the video you showed me, it was a darker image before, which is not included here, and the car wasn't there, or at least seemed not
And
to be there.
there's
in the
other
shadow.
ones where the smoke looks very strange. It looks like a 2-foot plume. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like a 20-foot plume of smoke. I don't know. That's just
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it could have been the sun and then
it's
the nuclear
Tatooine
bomb.
sun. It was
and
Tatooine
get
sun.
the bottom camera fixed, so or
because
DZ can
DZ is-
scoot over.
I'll just
He's
lean in
falling
a
off
little
the
more.
frame.
But
now. I
anyway,
gotta see
enough
more
about
DZ.
that. I'm not, you know,
I'm on that
we're kinda-
lean, y'all.
we're
I'm on that
stuck on
lean.
this subject.
I'm
We're
healthily
stuck on this
skeptical.
subject.
I'm healthily skeptical. I mean, I think it's a smart way to go about things. Hey, and you could be right. I mean, it could be completely real, and it's just a function of a bomb that we've never seen before. I mean, this is the first nuclear bomb, but it's
How's
okay
the
to
camera
question things.
survive the EMP?
That's what my
That's another one. How does the camera survive it?
the camera that just bringing up how does a camera withhold its structural integrity while everything around it is eviscerated?
EMP.
It makes no sense. An EMP? Oh
the-
yeah, from
the
the electromagnetic
electromagnetic.
pulse from it as well.
Yes.
Yes, another reason.
I mean, you could shield that. It's not outside the realm of feasibility.
Well, and as my people that follow me know, I am a heavy prepper. I'm very much into I don't think that there's really a good solution for how do you survive a nuclear blast. I would say just don't be there, right? But we have FTX coming out with some interesting news.
Are we
article.
going straight into the bunker?
We're going
Oh,
straight
yeah.
into it.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
We're going right into it.
Apocalypse bunker.
Yeah.
Great segue here.
Absolutely. FTX plan to purchase the Pacific Island nation of Naruto to build an apocalypse bunker. This lawsuit says. Let's dig in, find a little bit more. FTX wanted to purchase the Pacific Island nation.
So wait, if he's doing this with Caroline, we all know this is just a sex dungeon.
Well,
It's not a bunker.
any respectable
Maybe just
bunker
a
will have a
portion.
sex dungeon in
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? You can't really get on in the post-apocalyptic situation without it.
I mean, honestly, though.
Honest, that's not a world I'd want to live in. It's a pretty tiny island with a population of 12,500 located in the Pacific Ocean, northeast of Australia. And because it's so small, it's vulnerable to effects of climate change like rising sea levels. Oh,
Well, if that's true, then why would they be buying it there?
that makes no sense. And per the suit, the discussion between Gabe Bankman-Fried and the FTX Foundation officer suggested that they they built a lab for human genetic enhancement.
Now remember, these are the people that were taking so many pharmaceuticals. Caroline Ellison, I think her quote was something along the lines of, "A non-medicated existence is just so boring." So to them, being a sovereign human being that's just born out in this earth, no special chemicals, no special additions of cybernetic technology, that's not good enough. Folks, that is not good enough. We need to go to the next level. I need meth. I need cyborg eyeballs. I want lasers coming out of my anus. I want all these things. Hey, maybe it burns the poop off. I don't have to wipe. I don't know what the laser's for.
Oh, that sounds
maybe
good.
it's anti. I don't know if I go to prison. I don't know what it's for. I'm just saying, that is what they want.
Well, look, and it also
Defense
highlights
system.
it was to be used for an event, some event where 50% to 99% of people die.
Hold on, I'm pausing this for a second.
Yeah.
The camera was completely enclosed in a 2-inch lead sheath as protection against the radiation. The only source of light that was from the bomb. Go ahead and
It's just shake.
No.
It's just shake.
No.
Then.
Completely encased means the lens
the
couldn't
lens.
see out.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's plexiglass. I
So
mean,
it's not completely encased.
I'm just saying, how do you write that and not even see the fallacy in that
And again,
statement?
it-
I'm
Well,
not
it's clear
saying you're
lead.
not
It's
wrong.
clear
that
lead.
statement itself. Yeah.
Well, it's just sometimes you see in even apocalypse videos where something survives an EMP or something like that, and it's not fully
Anyway, we
encased.
can go back. Sorry, that one was just too funny. I had to call it out.
We have to, and if it's not fully encased in a continuous metal structure, it is susceptible to that. But obviously, it's hard to test these things because there's not many EMPs going off here and there.
And we appreciate the
But-
comments. I mean, we do.
It's always good to question.
Well, no, I'm saying it's good to question the questioners, and also it's just the whole thing of questioning. 2 days ago, I was like, that was definitely real. Now I'm like 95%.
It's fun to question.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
fun.
And the thing is if you don't, like, guess what? You're probably, if you question everything, you're going to be wrong about 50% of the, more 80% of the time, probably.
Not if you watch InfoWars.
Yeah, I know,
I'm just
right?
kidding. I'm kidding, I'm
But then when
kidding,
you
I'm
come
kidding.
across to something like, how did Building 7 fall down?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a minute. So then there's some things that are worth questioning.
Yeah,
just
what
because
is with the key witnesses reports of Pennsylvania seeing fighter jets chase after the airplane that fell down United 93? Well, there are questions that are, should be asked, I think.
Yeah.
Big question: where is
It's something
TJ?
might sound crazy, but-
TJ, I think he's going to be back next week.
Ooh,
he
is
told
that the
me
2
he's going to
weeks?
be back.
He told me next week or the week after.
And then I'm leaving. So does
Wait,
that
so-
mean I'm TJ?
Oh,
Or TJ 's
dare you.
me?
TJ's been with the,
The new human.
He's got a new
The new
baby.
human.
He's got
The
a new baby.
airdropped Homo sapien.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, hey BJ, what's the protocol you use to reduce senescent cells? So NMN is a way of doing it. Ficitin is another way of doing it. And then people are looking into specifically CD34 pathways. I'm getting something wrong there, but there's a lot of stuff with that.
We have a new basement member. Go up. Can you go scroll up on the chat?
Yeah.
Apparently, we had a new member come in. That's pretty cool. I love seeing it. I just on this bunker being built for a 50%, 99% extinction level event.
With human genetic
with,
testing facilities.
human pig hybrids in the basement.
Dude, yeah.
What happened to the Georgia Guidestones? Right?
Yeah,
The
also-
Georgia Guidestones laid out pretty much what this is talking about, and they were destroyed overnight. Very little conversation about it. No one even seemed to really care. And
I wonder where they got Simtex.
dude. I mean,
it was playing.
But it was amateur.
the lack of conversation made me feel like it was just a cover up. They don't want their words to be well known by the public, because that was kind of a big monument to just be destroyed with no question or no real investigation done into it. So seeing things like that, that's why on the back end, yes, I do prep just in case. Do what I can. Stay, because I had a dream last night. We're going to get into this dream.
Okay, Martin.
I had a dream that BlackRock developed a new zombie panty, and it actually was effective this time. And enough people were pissed off about the last soft-sided panty that they didn't really take it seriously, and it was nasty in this dream. And the entirety of Hit Network was all together. We were it felt like a Manhattan downtown kind of landscaper scenario, and I was handing out all my steel, giving people around me what they could, and Owen got the
Blix.
short end of the stick. Okay, Owen ended up getting a blunderbuss, and let me just show you what a blunderbuss is, just for those that want reference. This is a single shot unit, and my God, he was waiting for his time to make a move. It never happened in the dream, but this is what Owen ended up getting from me. So Sorry
grain
about
is
It
that.
looks like an
Close
SBR,
to
Drew.
Impossible.
Yeah, see, with spring bayonet.
You're right.
Yes,
with spring
you were
bayonet.
correct.
Drew,
No
that,
shit, I was correct. I said it.
Drew, that looks like a short barrel rifle. Like, to be real.
Don't you
Give me this.
Don't you what?
Yeah,
you
I'm
want
not gonna
some of
say
this?
that.
For science.
You need tax stamp
For science. So I'm sorry about you, Owen. Show your face. Did you even show yourself on this stream?
Nobody
yet?
even knows you're here.
Let me see you. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, I think you would do
Plus
better in
one,
real
never
life
mind.
than you did in my dream. I would say that. I got
Fun
faith in
fact:
that.
the closest virus that currently exists that is close to a real zombie apocalypse would be rabies. Rabies. You get a aversion to light, you get irritability, and it could eat your brain cells
about,
and make you go a little crazy.
And BG might be able to talk a little more. What about like prion diseases? So like,
I mean, isn't it? Is rabies prion?
I'm not sure.
I'm
it
not
might be,
sure. I
actually.
know it's mad cow.
Yeah. So maybe it is. Maybe
What
it is.
happened to
Lyme
Mad Cow?
disease is, I believe.
Is Mad Cow still going around in
Lyme?
the UK?
I'm
not sure, but there's also the deer. Remember, like 2 years ago, there's
Yes.
like all these deer that are now like
They had
if
like
you
a
kill 'em, don't
degenerative
eat.
disease. where they
Cujo,
just-
the movie with the scary dog that's like acting like a maniac, almost
Yes.
like a zombie dog. That was rabies.
Yeah. My dog kind of looks like Cujo.
Also, if you ever have to get a rabies vaccine regimen, it sucks.
Really?
They're real big needles, and it's like
Oh yeah, in your
Is it in
stomach.
the butthole?
I think I had to get 7 doses.
Jeez.
Yeah, because the girl whose dog attacked me, she wouldn't release just to be a bitch, wouldn't release whether or not her dog had rabies.
Oh my god.
So
even
my doctor made me do the rabies rounds.
Well, last note on the prep inside of my life, I found this is slightly connected because oftentimes you can move to locations where you're less susceptible to a situation like what the fuzzy-haired fellow was talking about. And in that process, you can actually make some money. So this just kind of made me look back.
Look at Washington. Look at Decker's home.
Let's go,
Look at Decker's
Chaz
home.
boy.
Let's go. Negative $74,000 on your home equities changes. So that's fantastic.
And I will tell you,
What's Georgia?
It's actually doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Take
Drew,
our
or
faces
not Drew.
away.
Owen,
Let's
make
see
us
where
smaller,
Owen-
ho.
Take our faces out of here, Owen.
sorry.
Oh, and there's a button.
Do things.
Plus
All right.
11K.
11K.
And that's pretty standard. I mean, I look at real estate here. You know, we have some real estate investments. But I want to say something really quick. With Washington State, that is 1,000% true. I literally, the house value of my parents gone down 80 to 100,000.
So the truth is 10x.
However, over the last 5 years, it's been face melting. The amount that the house that I used to live in increased about like another salary each year for the last 5 years.
It did.
Like $60,000 a year. It would be increased. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or 6 years ago, it's a $400,000-$500,000 house,
Alaska.
maybe $600,000. Now it's a $900,000 house that doesn't look like it.
I like
That's
the
Seattle. And that's,
NAs, and then everyone's like, nobody gives a shit about West Virginia.
Before Decker went on his rant about Chaz, I moved from Colorado and made basically $250,000 moving from Colorado to Georgia. So I just wanted to highlight this because obviously we're in here for the money. You can move to demographics that have better outlooks on.
that's why I'm home.
Oh,
What,
God, are you
Crypto
showing your
Poppy?
shoes off? What?
The crypto poppy's pretty strong.
Crypto
And like
Poppy,
now
that's
when I
fine.
look at it,
I know,
I can never unsee
I saw
it.
that same thing. I'm like, oh my God, that is Joe Biden sniffing.
Is it really?
Look.
Like I can
Oh,
never
God.
unsee that.
He is totally sniffing Idaho. Now I wonder where Idaho's being sniffed at. That's the real question here. But
Hair, probably.
yeah,
Hair.
I mean, if you want to just think about this in prepper terms, moving yourself away from problems, there's a lot. There's about 400 nuke silos right here, so that'd definitely be in question. And
Bunch
then
in Washington.
our offshore nuke stuff's right here. So those are the
The
main.
undetonated ones chilling around
But
Savannah.
Sam, he was building his stuff, north of Australia. Zuck is building in Hawaii. So there's a lot of bunkers and huge infrastructure. The Zuck master himself is building in Hawaii.
You know where all the
Pretty
bunkers
based.
really are?
I like it. I support it. Makes me like Mark Zuckerberg more.
Yeah?
That is a
Well,
base.
doesn't it you?
I mean,
You're a billionaire. You wouldn't build a super
I
bunker
would
on an island, Drew?
absolutely.
You'd be the first person
no.
to build a super bunker
I
on an
wouldn't
island.
only do that. I would buy a fleet of tanks.
Do you want to know where the most
Well,
bunkers
he's also
are?
probably got a fleet
What?
of tanks.
Okay,
Where
well,
do
he
you
has a fleet of drones that will smoke those tanks.
Where do you all
down.
think the highest
From
density
Palmer
of
Luckey.
bunkers are?
What'd you say? Highest density of bunkers? Yeah. Ooh.
Highest density
That's a
of
good
bunkers?
question. What do you think, Izzy?
what is going to be most scared of the Red Scare, as well as be able to facilitate a basement,
money.
plus a lot of home construction in the 1950s? I'm going to say Florida.
You're completely off on all those things.
Where's-
Well, hold up, hold up.
Switzerland.
Can I?
Well,
oh,
okay,
Switzerland.
let's
Well,
see.
okay.
Okay. You're going
An
worldwide.
insane number.
Like I
of
said, it
them,
wasn't
and they're
thinking worldwide.
Yeah, I was thinking America.
everywhere.
Interesting.
BJ, do you know in America where it's the most
I actually
concentrated?
don't have the slightest clue.
I might look it up because I'm curious. But
It wouldn't be
Well,
Florida.
a lot of
I don't know.
people think
Florida,
basements.
somewhere, Texas.
a lot of people think that California is the most secure location. I would have actually guessed that, but I'm kind of surprised you went worldwide with it. Switzerland makes me think of CERN. That's what I think of when I think of Switzerland.
Yep.
But on the Bitcoin side, there's a lot of questions on if we're going to hold this level that we're at. Possibly apocalyptic movements downwards. And I honestly hope that we go back down to 28, 26K per Bitcoin, because that'd be a fantastic re-entry point for altcoin bags. This is from Crypto Rover, talking about just if we confirm the break of range lows, which is at 29,600 by his account, we're expecting to see a continuation move down to the $28,000 level. However, if we remain to hold this support, the resistance to break is the 30,400 level. If we can confirm the break above 31,200 is next. He feels like it's kind of a simple game plan. I tend to kind of agree with this. I mean, roughly. I don't try to put an exact
What
dollar
kind of time
amount.
frame though?
I think he's thinking more short term.
Well, yeah, but like a week, 2 weeks.
Close within the week.
Three?
Yeah, I think it's meaning closing within the week. Let's see where we're at right now.
P.S. Biggest concentration of bunkers, according to this, what I found, Newsweek, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Oregon, and California. Anyway, sorry, keep
Dude,
going.
I'm from Denver. You talk about a bunker. You look at the DIA. There's a lot of questions.
Although
on the
these
one.
are bunkers that are known. You know what I mean?
Well,
So-
yeah, but the DIA one. I mean, there's a lot of
With the one below the airport.
Yes, and there's a lot of symbolism. I've interviewed a lot of people that have done micro tunneling and things like that under there. So there's a lot of questions. But back to Bitcoin.
Yes.
Let's see here. We got the year look at. Let's see.
Looks bullish.
I know it does. It looks pretty damn good.
You're like, wait, that's 12 months of data?
Yeah,
Like, is
this
that
is-
a breakout that's confirmed?
Yeah, low key.
I said in November, guys, this is the bottom. So I certainly hope it is, because if it is, I'm going to start retweeting the
Oh
shit
yeah,
out of that thing.
I would already start. I mean, like I feel really strong that this nutsack pattern here was the bottom.
I mean, we might see 23 again. We're not seeing 15
Yeah.
to 17.
Like these ranges don't look unreasonable to retouch. Let's go to the all-time. Doesn't really show us that much.
Yeah.
The monthly, still not showing us that much. Really, just the yearly is what I'm trying to look at here. And I still just generally agree with these guys that if we touch 28 or even 26, that's not necessarily the end game for this upward trend. It's normal to take breaths and just kind of retrace, reaccumulate. So, don't be surprised if you do see that happen. And
Hold on. King D said,
I know.
how much
I saw
land would
that.
you need to fully sustain a family of 4 with full vegan diet? Not much, because you're not surviving.
I was going to
No,
say,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm not.
That's a total
Yeah.
joke.
You better eat a lot of soybeans because you don't have. Your body needs protein. I mean, hey, no hate on vegans. Do whatever you want. America,
Well,
freedom.
vegans, I mean, you have legumes, you have chickpeas. Like, you have options.
That's true.
Mushrooms.
That's true. That's true.
Are those a complete protein? I actually don't know that.
Mushrooms have about a 50-50 carbohydrate protein.
Well, no,
breakdown.
complete meaning the
Oh, as far as complete, I think it has some that are probably missing with other stuff. I'm just guessing because it's a fungus. It probably has some weird proteins. Maybe.
actually growing your own food is a lot of work. I will just say that. Like your ass is going to be outside at 10 o'clock at night. If you work a regular job, you're going to be out covered in sweat, getting bit by bugs up until 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock, taking care of
Wait a minute.
everything.
Tom Crown called the bottom. Tom Crown, as far as I know, is only about 205 days, saying we're out of the bear market, 205 days. What is that? That's about 7 months. So he was saying that in January. We bought him in November.
Yes, we did.
Deezy said November.
Yes, we did.
I
And
said
I
it
feel
in
like
November.
most of us said that.
not most of us, but actually it was you, Decker,
Oh.
Deezy, and me that were creeping around the office. Frankie slightly agreed with me though at the time.
Yeah, Frankie confirmed what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean Frankie's always gives the up and down, options so he can make money on both ends no matter which way it goes. It felt really uncomfortable saying, "Hey, this is the bottom."
I mean,
at the time, it didn't. It felt like people just were sure of 10K.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like.
Well, for me, it was like, well, it just takes so much more energy than $10,000 to create one Bitcoin. So I was like, I just can't see it going much lower than $15,000. I mean, literally in the cheapest state in the United States, I made a tweet about this a while ago and I had like no traction. But basically, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like 14 grand, like in the cheapest state to make one Bitcoin at that time. And when we're talking about a $17,000 price, like how much lower can you really go? I mean, yes, but that's just in one state. You know, the average cost was at that time almost higher than
it was
the Bitcoin
19,000.
cost. Yeah, so it's like
it was
you're taking a loss, and so there's only so much you would be willing to sell it for. So yeah, anyway,
no, it makes sense. And
I mean, it's very relevant.
It matters, man, because like, what's that? What you got? A chat? I'm tweeting us out right now.
Don't read that one. What's up, Deucey? How you doing?
Deucey Crypto. Oh, I checked Deucey Crypto's Instagram last night. Pretty cool stuff. So obviously we had the news about the U.S. government selling off an additional 8,200 Bitcoin. The remaining balance of the U.S. government Bitcoin is now at 195,000.
Where'd they sell them? Like to an
Coinbase.
exchange? Yeah.
gotta be OTC.
That's what they did
Coinbase,
last
so.
time. Coinbase.
Yeah.
No, they sell just over the counter on Coinbase.
God, it's like when
Or
I
Coinbase
said that
Pro,
the government was going to link up with
Enterprise,
Coinbase
Enterprise.
months ago.
Yeah. And don't you feel like the current Coinbase SEC
Oh, yeah,
lawsuit
no,
was a psyop? Like,
there's another thing I can't talk about because I'm not allowed to FUD certain coins. But it seems like a lot of the stuff I've been saying, I want to go through and clip all this, that it's just like a certain chain, which is very centralized, is going to be controlled, and Coinbase would be FTX 2.0. Let's see.
That's a hot take. If it comes true, I mean, that's not going to be good for the whole market for sure.
No.
That'd be pretty bad. That'd be bad news. But here's where the chart stands for just overall government Bitcoin holdings. Yes, they're taking some legs down, little stair stepper down. Kind of interesting to see as we saw the, I liked this projection. The U.S. Owen, unbelievable. The U.S. Treasury admits that the debt situation is unsustainable, even publishing it in a graph. Problem is, their graph, the black line, is optimistic. The reality is that the problem is likely.
Oh, they needed to make a graph to know common sense?
No, I mean, it's this guy's, calling out the common sense. You got to bring it to the peeps, This isn't common for everyone to look at these things. I'll say that. It's just math. And here is the historical and current policy projections for debt held by the public. You and me. 1980 to 2096, they're looking a little bit far out to have like any real, I think that we're going to be doing some big changes to what is backing our currency by the time we get into this range for sure. But if you see here, get my ugly face out of the way so we can see this. We got the debt held by the public just on a constant move upwards. And, this is looking pretty far out, but this is debt held by the public. Percentage of GDP. And I don't think that we're going to get to this situation without making some big changes to just overall monetary policy. So keep that in mind. I think the only thing guaranteed in life is change. And this is definitely highlighting that change is coming in that regard. And, I would put, actually, I put about 99% of my wealth on the fact that that change is going to be somewhat in the form of a cryptocurrency backed / gold backed currency. Now it'll be interesting to see what they do with the
What do you think of RFK's plan of backing T-bills by 1%?
I like it.
I like it too. I don't think we can ever teleport to 100%. We're back to 100% by Bitcoin, gold, silver, fill in the blank. I don't think we'll ever be able to jump to 100%. So I think starting with 1% is probably the best way to actually get a real change.
Also, I don't think we want to, because of the fact like the advantage of USD and having it as a standard is other people don't control it. Bitcoin being borderless, if we're backing 100% of our money with that, we have a mutualism fiscally, and I don't think they ever want something like that.
I think that would be a bad thing.
Plus, there's transparency. No, I don't like 100%.
I also agree.
Yeah, I see some things with treasury bonds, like when other nations like Japan hold a certain amount of treasury bonds, they're beholden to that kind of process for our trade relationship that's existed in the past. That might very well change, so we might have to be looking internally for that treasury bond holding. RFK is really good on a lot of points. I don't think he's got me completely sold, because he potentially is coming out, would be able to come out to the 2A and potentially would be pushing an ESG narrative. So those are two things that my brutish self, being a brute, is my major flaw.
What do you feel about Vivek?
I like him.
I looked
Vivek.
more
More into him. Yes, I like Vivek.
Ramaswamy.
Yep.
I might vote for him.
I really liked what he's doing.
To me, he's the most competent and smartest candidate we've maybe had. I heard someone say, I think he's the smartest candidate we've had since Thomas Jefferson. It might not be hyperbole.
Does he have a chance because he's so young, or does that help him because he's so young?
Well, he can't be that young. He's got to be at least 35.
Yeah, he's got to be at least 35, but he looks like he's got a lot more gas in the tank.
I think it's going to help because we've gone so far on the other end, kind of things kind of swing back and then they snap back and then they swing. You see it with clothing and culture. We went too conservative in the 50s with the button up, and then we went too loose in the 60s, burning bras and, guys, the basketball shorts of the 60s and 70s. And then we go too far conservative with the 80s and the shoulder pads. And then we went the other direction with the fishnets and everything in the 90s and 2000s. So we're seeing a similar thing. We went way too old. Folks. We swung way too old. 80, 77, that's too old. And so I think we need to snap back in a strong way.
I would like that a lot. And JFK was the young, he was like really young when he was president. He had a huge approval rating too. RFK is interesting, man. RFK or Vivek.
Did he take the shot?
What's that?
Because he died pretty young.
Now, Vivek does have a interesting past where he was like, I think as late as June 2020 saying, hey, maybe we should just wear a mask and stuff. But I will say he's evolved, and I'm for people changing their mind.
Absolutely. BJ, that was absolutely ruthless.
And
Just
hilarious.
Take a moment for that one. This was kind of interesting. Still kind of related to just overscope and what our country's doing with regulation for crypto. I'll read the specifics, but then get into kind of the summary here. So this only refers to initial offerings. This is from Eleanor Tourette. Initial offerings from issuers to non-accredited investors involving the purchases of digital assets through a new exemption laid out in Section 201 that's similar to regular Reg D, Reg A, and Reg CF. Initial offerings of a digital asset that are not made through that exemption will be subject to different rules. Big takeaway from her on her count is that unaccredited investors would have an opportunity to get into initial offerings of digital assets, which might be, but then you got to think about, thank you so much for my small allowance and chance to get in on this thing. Kind of makes you feel weird if you think about it in certain ways. But this let's see here, AVE_LEI, this new crypto regulation bill prohibits the purchase of more than 10% of a person's annual income. So kind of setting your allowance to get exposure to this space based on how much money you already have, which is kind of counterintuitive because I know a lot of people invest to really improve their situation and have more value to work with. So seems a little bit like you're getting strangled, but you're enjoying it kind of situation. But I don't know.
Accredited investor laws make me furious. I want to make that.
Why is that?
I want to put that on record. It's literally saying we as a government think that if you don't have, I believe it's $200,000 a year provable income for joint. You guys can look it up. What it qualifies as a credit investor, or $1 million in assets outside of your primary residence. If you're not already rich yet, then you know what? You don't get the opportunity to invest in private equity. We don't think you're smart enough. That's literally what they're saying. We don't think you have enough money or are smart enough to take the risk and invest in things that will make you more money. Only the people who have the money, who have proved that they're competent to the government, will be able to be investors in private equity and initial offerings and
That's
whatnot.
where it gets weird for me. It's like I've already had to be a winner.
It's terrible. It really frustrates me because it's just basically saying, it's literally saying, if you do not have this amount of money, all of these opportunities, just like, hey, if your skin color is this, you just don't get access to it.
That sucks.
Like it's crazy. And when
So
you
by
really break
American
it down,
dream, do they mean American pipe dream?
Yeah. That's kind of my little rant on it.
No, you're valid.
Yeah, it's really a good thing to look back and sit back, because we all have experienced over the last few years pretty open access to these, really exciting upside potential tokens, and obviously there's a massive downside potential with small market caps, disruptive type of technology that are just trying to find their place in the sand here. And this just seems a little bit restrictive. And the accredited investor law in general just, sinks to high hell for me.
And C90 FTW, I believe that's what's he put in. What I believe is right is $200K or $300K a year with spouse or net worth of $1 million outside of primary residence, I believe. Which that's like 1%.
This also came out of the U.S. DOJ. Just they're doubling their crypto team targeting ransomware crimes. DOJ Representative Nicole Argentieri announced that the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, sounds like Team America, would be integrated as a constant entity within the Department Division that deals with an array of digital-related inquiries. DOJ iterated that NCET in 2021 due to the rising alarm regarding burgeoning size of digital asset industry and the potential of miscreants, terrorists, and other malicious entities to exploit crypto for the transmission of money laundering and unlawful funds. My God, they keep using this money laundering.
This narrative is
point.
just obnoxious.
It's so old. I mean, there's so much money that's laundered in regular US dollars, and it's much harder to track regular US dollars than cryptocurrency. A lot of the ethos about crypto is.
Do you know a drug dealer that takes crypto?
No,
me neither. I don't plan that take USD.
Yeah.
I will also say, hey, UPS, FedEx, and USPS send the most drugs through the air that more than any cartel in the world.
100%.
We got to
And
shut
guess
down
what?
FedEx.
Shut down FedEx.
Right.
Shut down UPS. They're the pipe. They're the pipeway.
You know
They're
what?
The pipeline.
I heard that they use a vehicle to get it from the building to your door. That has wheels. We need to ban all wheels. Let's get rid of tires.
Boo wheels.
Get rid of tires. Boo wheels.
Yeah.
So yeah, the point here is like,
Don't give them any ideas.
You can make fun. I mean, it's one of those things like, cryptocurrency tech. I mean, you can use it for malicious means.
Yeah.
You could also use fill in the blank for malicious means. FedEx, UPS, a car. You drive through a parade. You get my point. It's
Right.
it's not crypto that's the problem. It's
Human animal chimera hybrids.
yeah.
Oh God.
Is it Chimera?
Chimera.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I was just thinking of
Chimera is the band that's opening for Drew's band.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm excited to play a show, but I just want to highlight this at the end of this article. It highlights the fallout of FTX has escalated the immediacy among regulators and law enforcement officials to identify and eliminate malicious entities within the digital asset industry. They keep harping on this TradFi fraud.
Oh, your planned event was the trigger to escalate it. Gotcha.
They just keep everything that I see with money laundering and crypto also, summarizes it with, look what Sam did. You know what I mean? He came from TradFi. He arbitraged a space. Thank God he got caught. And, it's really aggravating to see this narrative continually be pushed down our throats when we know that a lot of the ethos behind crypto is transparency, knowing where money's going, understanding maybe someday if our government runs off of crypto, we'll understand why and what was the $10,000 toilet that they're purchasing, the $5,000 wrench. Maybe those things will be a little bit better understood and you would see a lot less missiles going across the sky if every single one of them was accounted for on a public ledger. But I'll leave it at that.
I like it when people bring up the $5,000 hammer. They're like, NASA, they tried to spend $2,000 per pen and, it cost them $250,000. You know what the Russians did? They just used a pencil. And then you learn all that, this graphite, like the little shavings is actually like a bad thing. It leads to a fire risk. And over decades, it could create like a catastrophic event inside of a space station. And you should never use a pencil in space. Always thought that was funny.
Dude, I watched Apollo 18. 3 days ago. Super cool movie if you haven't seen it already.
The Tom Hanks one?
No, it wasn't Tom Hanks.
Okay, because I was like,
that's 13.
Yeah, that's Apollo 13.
Yeah, I know.
Apollo 18 was an interesting
I didn't
movie.
know if Mandela was just banging on my hippocampus real quickly or what was going on.
Apollo 18 I liked because it had a very kind of imaginary idea or portrayal of what aliens potentially could look like. It was actually the rocks themselves were the aliens. They stopped moving.
Spoiler alert.
Mushrooms.
Okay, yeah, I spoiled the show. It's an old movie. If you haven't seen it, go figure it out. But we had this from Tesla, kind of a back and forth story. Breaking.
Hey, Snap-on's the truth, man. Don't talk bad about Snap-on.
Snap-on's good stuff.
That's the best tools, period. Too rich for my blood.
That's all right.
I like the trucks. You can tell they care by how well they keep their trucks.
And real quick, I looked at the Vivek thing. He's given a good point. We should, if something has a human-like feature or people might consider it has a soul, don't build it. That's basically his thing. But if you want to put an ear on the back of a mouse's back, that's probably fine. I agree with that.
That's probably fun.
I mean, do you think we shouldn't have
if you could cut it off and
you've
put it on
seen
a
that,
human,
right? Where they like growing someone's nose tip?
Well,
or
they
someone's
weren't growing
ear
so-
cartilage. To me, that's a
How
good thing.
old
man.
was the mouse thing? I feel like that was almost high school
Yeah,
for
they're
me.
doing that like 20 years ago.
But it was also they weren't growing an ear per se. And what I mean by that is it's not like the homeobox regulation was there, meaning
yeah, they're not changing the mice's DNA to have ears sprouting out.
They were
They're
growing epithelial
planting
cells.
a seed more than anything.
around a lattice structure that was in the shape of an ear. Still cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it was actually being like this cell goes here, this one goes here, this one goes here. Cool. Ear.
But where does it lead? That's the question for me.
I mean,
you start by putting an ear on a mouse. Then all of a
It
sudden,
leads to people curing blindness, and to if
Yeah.
you don't, if you had some tragic accident, that's going to be really
Yeah,
important to
that
you.
would be great to see.
and that's why I
But
keep
look what
talking
Sam
about
was trying to do in his bunker.
keep talking about like the whole DSI thing. It's just like, being able to do autologous transplants is phenomenal. Well, when you mean a transplant, an autologous, all it means is of your own. So instead of somebody giving me a kidney, you take epithelial cells, so skin cells, reprogram them into basically very plastic cells that can become anything known as totipotent, multipotent, or pluripotent. And then you take those and you make the kidney and then you give it to yourself. And wait, did that come from your own cell line? Yeah, you're not going to have rejection.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
and
brother
that's
went through
beautiful.
2 rejections. My
That's
brother had
beautiful.
2 heart transplants, and
Yeah.
actually he had 3 rejections of his heart that were transplanted into him. He had 2 different heart transplants, and rejections are actually, now that you bring it up, I just want to make that highlight that is something that we physically dealt with a lot.
Yeah, because you have to
you
do
gotta
a
take
weird
a pill every single day for the rest of your
It's
life.
that, or you do a weird piggybacking of eventually. Chimeric is not the correct term here, but basically you're getting part of the person who's donating to you their blood and genome and immunity. So, but again, we can bypass all that, and we're not.
Like,
really?
let's really say what's going to happen. The rich, the people who got a whole Bitcoin, they're going to live to 300 at one point, and then the people who are no coiners are going to live to 80 still, probably. If anything, I don't know if you've seen our life expectancy has kind of gone down past
It
few
has.
years. We'll probably peak, some normal number, 80-ish, 90-ish, but then there's going to be the people who can afford all these therapies. They're going to live to... The person who's going to live to 200 is theorized to have already been born.
Yes.
Is it you?
I definitely agree with
What?
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah.
That's not a hot take.
It's
at
not a hot
all.
take. It's like a...
The only
like
reason that's a hot take is because of lack of education.
Well, I
That's
think
it.
it's exciting to hear about. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? That's like a
But
whole
not a hot
nother.
take.
That's like a whole nother evolution in humankind, as it is
Yeah.
right there. I see a question.
What are you going to do with that Bitcoin at 140 years old? You're going to say, you know what? I want my knees to work.
I'll be
give
dead.
me the chimera knees.
Yeah, I'll definitely choose death, but that's just me. That's just
Say
me.
that, then you're going to want to see your great grandkids.
No, I'm not.
Graduation, maybe.
I'm gonna just go organically. I want to be dirt. But I see a question about
I want to live forever.
my necklace. This is a tensor ring necklace. Company's out of Erie, and it's just continuous copper. Stopped my migraines when I moved next to a power transmission station in Colorado a few years back. I was having migraines, puking every day, and couldn't find out why, because normally I was pretty damn healthy. And then my wife, she's very into, holistic or all the voodoo.
Crystals?
Crystals? No, she's not into crystals, but stuff like that. I'll do
Crystals
it.
adjacent.
Oh, where is this? That's the little guy. Right there. I have this on my power breaker at my house, under my bed, on my water, everywhere. So,
That's how I braid my pubes.
if you have migraines and you're feeling weird, you want to test out if, you might be getting hit with a little bit of extra cell phone radiation and that might be affecting you. That's where I would recommend looking at this.
Also, can we give a
because
shout out
you
to
feel-
Deadwood, who I think said he was 76 and just still chilling here and rocking
Yeah, I
out
was
with
gonna
us
say
DJs.
that's like dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Dude, we gotta
thank everybody, but that's super awesome.
We got to get a range day set up with Deadwood.
Yeah.
He keeps mentioning it. It's been on my mind. Let's figure it out, man. The Tesla Bitcoin story didn't really, it seemed like there was a lot of conflicting articles about it. It looks like the payment code for paying for Tesla with Bitcoin has at least been there since January. People are kind of making a big deal about this right now. I think that might just be in relevance to yesterday was the anniversary of 2022 when Tesla did sell 75% of its Bitcoin holdings.
Oh yeah. But they removed the Bitcoin from the source code, by the way.
They at a
as of
time it was
today.
not there. Oh, they removed it today.
Well, not as of today, but from what I saw, this guy was tweeting. Again, I just did a Google search, and from what I see, it doesn't look like this is based on other people. So I didn't actually go look at the source code, which I probably should have done. I think they removed it, but they kept Dogecoin in. That's at least what I saw. But you're right, there were conflicting stories about it today.
There were. It's all over the place. I really think that it's just punching stuff back into the headlines because of the anniversary. And, sometimes publications just pick up old stories to kind of rekindle interest.
Or they're going to turn back Bitcoin payments. They're going to turn it back on.
I wouldn't be surprised by it.
That's what I'm thinking
Dude,
here.
10 grams of creatine a day.
That's not as much as it sounds like.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do only what? I thought it was a 1
It
gram
depends
a
if
week.
you're in a loading period or not.
Be careful.
I mean,
Water
it feels a little high. The worst comes to worst, you're going to pee it out.
Well, worst comes worst, your liver.
No,
if you do it for
worst
10
comes
years,
worst, you're going to piss it out.
Well, if you do it for 10 years, your liver will not be well.
Are we going to get into a
no,
scientific debate?
we're not.
I'm just saying, from
BJ's
what I've
becoming
heard,
triggered.
We're
creatine
just
is
not.
hard on your liver, as is ibuprofen. That's all. That's just the.
Yeah, we need
plebe-
this talk with Taco.
Yeah,
we can wait.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Because
true.
he's
That's
probably
true.
taking more creatine than anyone in this room.
It's probably more creatine. Than,
Well, talking
Probably
about
snorts
getting
it.
swole, I feel like the
Booty
potential chance for a re-entry into altcoins is making me feel pretty dang good. I am targeting Caspa, Mordag, and
What about
then-
milk, bro?
Milk?
Anybody been looking
I'm
at milk?
targeting milk still. That's the Cardano ecosystem.
It's over
DeFi.
28 now.
Is it?
When I was telling people to buy it at 8.
You.
I mean, that's only a 2x.
That's
God,
still pretty
what the
good.
fuck is wrong with us? Only a 2x.
That's pretty good. It's a accumulation market. Getting a 2x in an accumulation market is great. Here's just from the DeFi investor. Johnny shared this. He's always looking at DeFi. I do feel like DeFi is going to be a big thing. Again, we saw DeFi summer last bull run, and this is from this account, DeFi investor, fastest growing crypto sectors in 2023. L2s with 301 increase in activity, 301% increase in activity. Ethereum, LSDs, liquid staking derivatives, 43% TVL growth.
Don't they mean Lido staking derivatives?
Does it? I think it might be. Lido makes up most of Ethereum.
I was making a joke, even though I'm not allowed to comment
kinda
anymore.
True. It's kind of true. I mean, Lido has locked up a lot of staking. Real world assets, 552%. TVL growth. Let's see here. In LSDFi from a few million to 780 million in total value locked. Telegram trading bots. I don't really mess around with Telegram trading bots or any of this stuff, but apparently they went from 10K to 20K daily fees to over 400K. So a little bit of movement on that. An old coin that popped back into my mind that I actually have held for quite a while and never took profits on, but I still hold it and believe in it, is Chainlink. And I know DZ, it was refreshing when I first came upon the BitBoy channel. He was talking about Chainlink on ATB. And even back then, he was jogging my memory that I owned it still. But Lark says we are at the point in the market where even buying the top coins like Chainlink, Avalanche, Solana, and ADA can return 10 to 20x gains in this next cycle. I definitely agree with this sentiment. I do not. I'm sorry. I'm bearish on this one. Hex, God bless. I hope you guys make it out in.
Well,
in
that she's
profits.
too poor to afford the U.
Oh my God. Oh, that's terrible. But Chainlink came out with the CCIP recently, and I know that a couple people were wanting to look at more of the needs or use case for storage coins, bringing up Storage and things like that. Chainlink is also involved in that sector. It's a decentralized Oracle network enabling smart contracts on various platforms, and basically it just interacts with real-world data, external APIs, and off-chain systems. Aims to bridge the gap between blockchain tech and real-world applications that are already in place by providing a reliable and decentralized source of data for these smart contracts. So,
And if that sounds like the craziest thing, there's no way I'll ever understand that. Just think of it as a editing tool of data.
100%. That's
it's just it
a
edits
fantastic
data.
way to put it. Fantastic way to put it. And I think that that's going to be necessary as we continue to grow out these AI systems, and the data throughput is growing and growing. I kind of talked about it yesterday, but this is just another highlight of a good project that's been around for a long time. Had really good price movement. It went up to like $50 or something last cycle. I got into it around $2 and still hold it. Feeling great at around that. Where is Chainlink right now?
I don't even look at the price.
I'm
Was
gonna
it
see.
$6 or something
Yeah,
stupid?
No, I think it's 8.
I'm
I
down.
think it's
DC
8.
might buy 3.
I'll buy 2 more today.
You know about
Oh, it
2
is
more?
Friday.
Look at this thing.
Maybe I
Look
should
at
buy
this thing.
15.
This is the week or the month on Chainlink. That is looking sexy. The year, I mean, it's just climbing back up to its kind of baseline here. In general, this was a great opportunity right there at the $5 mark.
You get it for $5 in June.
Mm-hmm. And overall, we don't look like we've really missed out on much yet. So this is the all-time graph. This is the little
I can't buy the
penny.
wick.
This
I
is
was going to buy some for the culture. I can't buy the wick.
for the culture.
Can't do it.
Fantastic. I mean, look at $2 during the panty. Then it ran all the way up to near $55. I remember the moment.
Dude,
And
that's only like a 25x.
only a 25x.
Yeah.
Do you sound like a bitter YouTuber that only...
All right, so let's say
Only
all right,
20.
price predictions. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
price predictions
Let's
here.
do it.
Top of the next bull run. Where are you saying? I'll start. I'm going to say $80.
You thinking $80?
Thinking
Looking at-
80.
I'm
What?
looking at links right now, so.
Pull my screen down on. I'm going to see here.
It's a 60% pump from the previous high. I think that's fine. I don't know if we can get to 2x, let alone 5x.
Do we
from
care
the
about
previous all-time
utility,
high. Maybe we
network
can.
growth, or anything, or just literally just
No, it's just
money?
it's just a good normie friendly coin. It's like, oh, it's an oracle. I don't know what an oracle means. Oh, it like helps do data stuff. Oh, okay, I kind of get it. Oh yeah, if you want to update an NFT, you need to spin Chainlink. Oh, okay, I kind of get it. It's just something that a novice of crypto can wrap their head around.
Yep.
So it's at a $4.5 billion market cap right now.
That's
And
not too thick.
the peak of the market cap was at 21.5 billion. So
How much?
21.5 billion was what it peaked out at as far as its market cap.
Okay.
You know, so it's definitely a contender. Let's see here. I am thinking that it has a reasonable, this is just me personally, I think it has a reasonable ability to double its previous all-time high as far as market cap. Where would that put
So it's
it?
like 180.
Has the supply significantly gone up since last time? I don't know anything about the emission
Me
rate.
neither.
I will say this about the emission. I'm not super knowledgeable about the emission rate. I know the Chainlink Foundation is the main recipient of the funds and they market sell it. But to use Chainlink, you burn Chainlink. I'd have to do a little investigation. I mean, maybe
Do you
the
know
foundation
roughly how
receives
much?
the burnt. I don't know. I remember last bull run to update NFT data took like 2 Chainlink. And
Oh, that's
would
way
have
more
to
than I
spend
expected.
it. You would have to spend it. Yeah.
It's pricey to use, and it's still in place.
Well, that's what I was about to
Well, you can
ask.
update 10,000 NFTs for those 2 Chainlink, or just one. You know, it's you're changing a smart contract.
And it does have a total and max supply right at 1 billion total tokens. Circulating supply is at 538 million right now. So right at about half are released as of right now. We'll have to see the vesting schedule, obviously, but I do feel like a $50 billion market cap is attainable for this coin. I feel like it's going to be a contender in the peak of the
And then
next
with the
bull
release
run.
coins, yeah, probably about right around that $80-$90 probably.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
what I'm
we'll see.
thinking.
I
This
mean,
is
how much
reasonable.
supply? Like, are we going to be at like 60% of the supply bull run 2025?
I have to find that. I don't have a. I don't know. AJ found the ultimate tool.
I was about to say, there's got to be something because
Yeah.
it's like some of the stuff, like even when we're trying to look up like XLM's emission rate, like it comes up with a million other things when it's like, this is pertinent data. That
Absolutely.
I feel like should be obtainable.
Dude,
fairly easily.
XLM has been. Did you say Stellar paused?
I'm not saying it did. I'm asking if it did because I saw some stuff that popped up. Every time I've checked it, it wasn't paused.
Yeah, I mean,
But I did vaguely hear something about that happening.
I didn't see anything about that. What I have been watching is Stellar's price. So let's see here. This is the year.
I got a bear case for Stellar. I'm
Do
gonna
you
say
really?
After you do everything, yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm
Well,
contrarian.
this is the year
I'm kidding.
on Stellar, and it absolutely faded the news of XRP, which I fully expected to do. I have a bag of Stellar that's married to XRP, and I'm not getting rid of one without the other. So this is another long-term hold for me. Got into it in the panty. Fantastic. Looking like a little resurgence ability there. It did come down super hard. Like this thing retraced all the way down to 7 cents. Once again, thus opening up great entry points. And in the very short term, if you were in, not too terribly long ago, about a month ago, it was coming in at 8.5 cents. And it is reading at 16 cents right now. That's an 80% gain on the month. Absolutely fantastic. Don't be afraid if you're looking for short-term stuff. Profits are profits. Money's green, and you need it right there. There you go.
All right, so my bull case for XLM was, all right, so we talked to Akon 2 years ago. Akon has, pretty significant net worth. He's doing a lot of things in Africa, especially Cynical. And he was here at the studio. We got to talk to him off camera, and he said, we're talking about crypto. He didn't know what a MetaMask was. He didn't know what a MetaMask was 2 years ago. And then this was after the fact I found this out because Justin Williams was the one who talked to him and found that out. He was talking about, well, what are you bullish on? He said, man, I'm very bullish on XLM. XLM is doing a whole lot of cool stuff in Africa. They're really building out infrastructure. They're helping out with, I think he said the normal things in 2021 was like school records and driver's licenses or hospital records, medical. Probably just said all the buzzwords. I was like, oh, wow, this is good news. Well, fast forward 2 years.
Were you talking about Akon?
Yeah, Akon.
I missed that part.
Fast forward 2 years, nothing has happened. I haven't seen any partnerships. And I saw a bunch of viral tweets talking about no one has lied to Africa more than Akon. And it was a whole super clip of him lying about, like, we've given the 16 million people electricity. And then some other thing was like, yeah, we got all these partnerships and we're giving credit cards and people... It was all bull crap. I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, the thing was going viral. Like, no one has lied to Africans more than Akon. And then it was like a clip of him potentially blowing smoke up people's ass. And so now I'm like, damn it, did I just get smoke blown up my ass about XLM 2 years ago? Because I was like, yeah, man, Decker, I have the inside info. Akon told me. He's talking to these government leaders. May all been bullshit, folks.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that speculation can pump things to unreasonable levels. So... Granted, that all may be fully
Do you mean
accurate.
like Viagra?
Yes, Viagra as well.
Sick.
BSOT, dump your XRP for Pulse.
Totally chilled. Yeah, you dumped out. I was his exit liquidity, folks.
Dump your XRP for Pulse from BSOT. I would rather wake up with my head sewed to the carpet than do that. So just...
What about your hand glued to a highway to stop oil?
In resin.
Oh, only with epoxy mixed into the concrete. I was going to
say epoxy resin on concrete.
They had to amputate their arms.
Dude, good.
That was very sad.
How is it now like we can't rip the skin at that point? I don't know. You can't get some thigh skin.
I feel like you could. At that point, it seems like they're sending a message.
Yeah, I think it was like, all right, we have cops doing it, not BJ's dad or something.
Yeah, like you definitely could. Well, I'm not sure the scalpel can reach up 6 feet under, but bad joke. But like, I feel like, oh my god, what is the nail polish remover? Acetone. Like, but yeah, definitely just remove the dermis layer. Like, but yeah, it feels like they were
deglove the hand.
I want them to come in with like the Indiana Jones like curved sword, like the guy that's slicing at Aladdin. I want that. I want some guy with a big beard just come in and chop their hand off.
Sickle.
No, what's it called? It's not a sickle. It's a. It starts with a K.
A kashar. I know what
kashar or something.
Cussicle.
Go check out the DIA paintings. You'll see on the DIA paintings, it's a Russian soldier with the sword you're talking about over his head, holding an AK.
Did y'all see the clips today where people were blocking traffic and there was a lady who was pregnant, baby's being born, they're trying to rush to the hospital and they're blocking her car for oil. Meanwhile, a human being's being, pushed out of her.
Meanwhile, all those cars are probably still continuing to run and are now wasting.
Yeah.
Not to mention
scimitar.
Well, with that, chaotic highlight of the world we live in, we're just trying to show you, I'm trying to show you the best projects that I believe in for the long term. Obviously, I'm waiting for a little bit of a move down to probably around the 28 move in Bitcoin before I really start pouring the gasoline on the fire for Caspa, more DAG, and probably more XRP, honestly. I think we'll get a little bit of breath in that sector, but I want to leave you with this. This is a good little quote. A millionaire will never make fun of someone for starting a business. A really fit person will never make fun of someone for just starting at the gym. A successful YouTuber will never make fun of someone for posting their very first video, and only the people below you make fun of you unless you're in crypto, and then the mockery is constant no matter what.
Yeah, that's not really true. Do you see Kobe, making fun? Well, actually, damn it, it's true. Never mind. Yeah, it is right. Got it. Dang.
Yeah.
Got him.
Well, I'm going to end this on my win because that's important for me. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, in the chat.
Kukri.
Joining us after the show. Make sure you smash the like. Make sure you go onto our Discord and get the NFT. It's about to be unavailable once we pass 15,000 subscribers. I got a banana touching me. I got Janet Yellen entering the chat here. We got Gary's Guzzler, Mike Bennett, Hodge to Podge, Ninja Glock, Crypto Billy, Robert Young, Paper Beats Rock, Bisot. I'll call you out even though you tried to make my head sew the carpet there. Cryptos for Candy Canes, all of you wonderful people, Crimson Caravan Company, Zach Spatty. Thank you for joining us on a Friday. Go do something. Is it Friday?
It's Friday.
Yeah.
No, it's been a crazy week for me.
Yeah, it is. It's been fast moving. I'll go touch some grass. I'm going to go look at a snake that's been terrorizing my chickens. A snake?
Man,
Snack.
I killed a non-venomous snake. I think I may have broke the law. I didn't know. I got dogs. I don't want to bite the dog. It was like 4 feet. It was a bigger one. It wasn't like a little 12-inch.
I mean, are you responsible
Girthy
for what
boy.
your dogs do in your backyard, though?
Well, it wasn't.
That's questionable. That's questionable.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
On that
Yeah, we are legally speaking. We should be. Yes.
I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Touch
Wasn't me,
the
it was my
grass,
pit bull.
kiss your loved ones, let them know, and
Rex.
keep looking at what we should do with the next bull market, DeFi, meme coin, potential NFT resurgence craze that is to come. Glad you're here while the timing is good to get in, and I hope to see you on Monday.
Deuces.
Butterfly.